This is why the rich get richer, and it is not what you think. Factually, far from it. So we saw it this past year, 2020. We saw how already billionaires making billions upon billions more. Now, this is not a statement of judgment, but an observation of what happened. It's what happened. We saw it happening. And you may feel it should not have happened. For how can it be that the world's population were made poorer due to lockdowns and economic shutdowns? I mean, we saw it. Mom and pop stores forced to shut down. But Walmart, Target, Amazon, Costco, and other big retail stores were free to operate. And we may scream injustice, corruption. It's so unfair. I agree this is the perception, and it is a serious spiritual problem. But let's define the word spiritual. Google defines it as a concept that relates to or affecting the human spirit or soul, as opposed to material or physical things. I don't feel it's very helpful in terms of a practical definition, because it doesn't answer where it is, what exactly it means to have a soul or spirit. How come it does not explain its value or how it works? Why is it so ephemeral to even consider it? With that being said, let's use a more objective approach. If we were to be practical, we would understand that if we were to suppose our spirit is our force that moves us in the direction of physical phenomena, at least we can gather more practical data. How? Well, because it lets us look at what life is able to reciprocate to us. Immediate observation lets us accept that you are here, now present with a breathing body within the confines of a living space. Let me repeat that again. Gathering practical data depends on us being able to look at life for what it is and what is reciprocating to us, what is bringing back to us, what is mirroring back to us. So being in the moment and having immediate observation to our life lets us accept that you and I are here now, present with a breathing body within the confines of a living space. It's about awareness. It is super important since dogma has always made people perceive that the soul or spirit is something that you will experience always after death. That has always been the case. It's the common denominator of religions. That they say that you will go to heaven or a hell or a purgatory or even into extinction where you will no longer exist. That you will go into a line of where other souls are waiting to see where they will be placed in their next reincarnation. And people have been marketed the concept of an afterlife. And I'm using the word here, market, for a reason, for a purpose. Pay attention to that. People have been marketed the concept of an afterlife to the point of saturating completely the idea of spirituality. It triggers thoughts of ignorance, useless dogma, intolerance, bigotry, tyranny, and they even go as far as to even murder. But what about the now? How can we be so in the dark about something so inherent, so necessary, and so ubiquitous to the human experience? In essence, we must ask, what is my sole purpose? Or what is my soul's desire? Does it not encompass my mind and my body? Does it not, by objective observation of the now, that it must have a purpose, since it is present within the confines of a body that experiences all perspective, relative experience? For example, objective observation tells us poverty is bad and prosperity is good. We thrive in abundance and we suffer when we experience lack. Action, reaction, cause and effect. But our mind can operate the body and lead to the acquisition of abundance. Then what does it look like when we see the soul or the spirit when it's included in the process? Let me repeat that again. Our mind can operate the body and lead us to the acquisition of abundance. Then the question is, what does it look like when we see a soul or a spirit when it's included in the process? What are the results? So the question is there evidence? Can we look at history and see powerful changes in the world stage to allow for this process to be quantifiable and measurable? In my opinion, I think so. I mean, we have seen those who use their minds to create opulence and prosperity for themselves. But then the question does come up. Did the process show with clarity how far they were willing to go to get it? For example, did they resort to violence, corruption, manipulation, desperation, greed? Or did they use compassion, appreciation, respect, valuable service? Did they champion a cause? Did they help contrast the general prosperity of a generation or many generations? And I believe this gives us clues as to when in history the soul or the spirit of humanity or of human beings was made to take the wheel of the human experience. I'll give you an example. When we look at millennia of human experience before the Constitution and the Bill of Rights was put in place, we see a record of human regression and oppression where we are forced under observation to clearly accept something of extreme significance and that it has occurred. And when we saw governments or institutions regress to such old paradigm, we see the destruction and mass genocide that is allowed under such systems that decided to go back to the Dark Ages. We saw it in Nazi Germany, Mussolini in Italy, Stalin in Russia, the Japanese Empire before the end of World War II. We have seen it in current countries now paying the consequences with mass unrest and extreme poverty as they embrace systems that have proven to not work ever. And yes, it seems that when humanity is able to operate at the soul level, life seems to advance in ways that are unprecedented. Benefits and abundance seem to become the natural consequence of soul level creation. This happens in the arts, in business, and politics. We can always go back to a person or a group of people that come out of nowhere and create massive changes or upgrades to a desperate situation. So the common denominator, that is the common denominator, the anomaly, then is always when humanity or individual humans are able to operate at the soul or spirit level. Let me repeat that again because it's highly significant. Pay attention. The common denominator, the anomaly, then is that humanity is operating at the soul or spirit level when we see these things happening, when we see these quantum leaps of progress. This would suggest that the soul or spirit does have a desire and a purpose given, and that given the time and space in which it has decided to operate with a physical body, it will go through that desire. It will make it happen. The great news is that we all have a soul or a spirit operating within us. It is obvious. What we may not readily know in our awareness is its desires or its purpose. If a few people have operated at a soul level and have made tremendous changes in the human experience, what would happen if more of these triggers were to awake more people to discover their own soul purpose or soul desire? That is to say, your own soul desire. If this process was quantifiable and measurable, like if you could go to a class and take the discover your own soul purpose and your spirit's desire and activate your own personal legend class course, what will be the price of such education? Would it be $1,000, $10,000, $50,000 more? What is the value of a nation living under a Republican Constitution with its promised freedoms? Does not millions of immigrants sacrifice everything they have to come here just for the opportunity to make something of themselves? What is the value of the earlier integrations of scientific knowledge by Nikola Tesla and his scientific breakthroughs? Did you know most of the applied technologies that are mainstream are possible thanks to him? What is the value of Napoleon Hill's personal mastery course books and the value that it has brought to millions of entrepreneurs who benefited tremendously from his works? Do you know how many millionaires swear by his teachings? What about the teachings of Jesus and how he brought to the front awareness towards compassion, tolerance, and love as he defined through the Golden Rule? Did not such thinking transform the world of spirituality? These seeds of inspiration are priceless. What would you pay for information that can clearly tell you in essence who you are and what you are here to do? Yes, it is a quantifiable and measurable process. You can go from where you are at to being in that place where you know exactly what you are supposed to be doing and prosper while you are doing it. You no longer have to operate at a mind level, but now you can operate at a soul level. Yes, you can harness your spiritual force and create a mind-blowing lifestyle. This is how it always happens. Everyone who has been a greater something came to awareness of their soul, and the second they started operating from there, nothing was ever the same for them and the world around them. They changed everything for the better. So if you feel like you have been jumping from book to book, from guru to guru, from following the next entrepreneur to the next, not knowing exactly which one's the best one for you, and never coming to that place where you make the decision, I would suggest this is the one. This is because you are not operating at soul level. What you never understood is that all the success you perceive from outside of you in others is but a reflection of what your soul has been wanting to help you do. I am not saying that your soul is going to make you a billionaire that wants to make even more money, but that there is a problem in the world that needs a solution that I guarantee you can solve once you go through training. It could be a song, an idea, maybe a business, a movement. Yes, you have something that you need to be made aware thereof for the world to benefit. And more importantly, for you to benefit yourself. Let me repeat that again. You have something that you need to be made aware thereof for the world to benefit. But more importantly, for you to benefit yourself. So what is the price for this training? I'm here to tell you don't have to worry that it's going to be at thousands of dollars nor hundreds of dollars. But how about just the standard price of a printed book? You can buy the book and put the effort that it takes to read a basic 300-page printed book. Or you can go back to living the life you are living now and continue wondering what it takes to create a fantastic life. So I will highly suggest that if you haven't already done so, go to Amazon or click on the link below and buy my book, Blueprint for Immortality, the Quantum Code for Life Secrets to Success. It can help you find out essentially who you are, what you are here to do, what your soul purpose is, and what your soul desire is. I know I may sound like a tall order, but I promise my book can do that for you. And there's only one way for you to find out, is go and purchase the book. Alright, so if you felt that this riff was valuable, you like what you heard, if you have questions or comments, comment down below. I look forward to hearing from you and maybe having a discussion. I look forward to my next riff, and I wish you the best.